Hey everyone, this is Weston with Carry Concealment. I figured since I've got all these different handguns for the business in the safe, what I would do is just start taking them out one at a time, talking about them, letting you know my thoughts on them. Most of the firearms I have in this safe are just tools, unfortunately. I don't have enough time to shoot every one of them to an extensive amount, so I'm not going to be giving you long-term durability kind of stuff. I'm not throwing them in mud, freezing them, anything like that. But I'll give you an overview on what the firearms are and my thoughts about them. And today we're going to go over the Walther PDP. This is the 5-inch long boy variant. And I have to say, I'm actually really impressed with the PDP. There's a couple of interesting things about this firearm that I think kind of separate it from the rest of the polymer striker guns. And then there's a few things that I really don't care for about this gun as well. So let's go over it. Obviously they make this in a bunch of different sizes. For holster manufacturing, it makes the most sense for me to have the longest one, so that's what I've got. Also long. It is optics ready. Kind of interesting, when you buy a PDP or any of the Walther products, as it would appear, you don't get any plates with it. You email them, let them know you purchased it. They send you whatever optics plate you want. At least that was the case when I bought this one. So I did get a SRO RMR plate for this firearm. Of course, that optic has been stolen because I don't like shooting this thing, and I'll get to that in a minute. This firearm is lighter than it looks. It has a really blocky design, just ridiculous serrations all throughout it. It's very easy to manipulate. The perceived height over bore, you know, the height of this slide, it does seem tall and chunky, kind of like a 320. But unlike a 320, this grip is pretty phenomenal to hold on to. Walthers and the HK guns are probably some of the most ergonomic feeling firearms out there. This one's no exception. There's a nice little lever here, a ledge, that kind of protects the mag release from getting bumped unintentionally. The button works really well. Obviously it's an ambi gun. The slide controls are extended, so it's really easy to drop the slide. Also, coincidentally, I ride the heck out of this slide, so it never locks back for me. But the back straps are great. They changed the grip angle slightly, but it's a very comfortable gun to hold on to. It's extremely light. But here's where it's weird, because I feel like this is the lightest polymer striker gun I have, but I just weighed them out, and this is actually a full ounce heavier than a Glock 34, which is the same length. So, not actually that light. Under recoil, when shooting it though, it feels really snappy. Some people like a slide that just hauls ass. Some people like that slower ka-chunk. The 34 is significantly slower in recoil than this one is, and I kind of prefer that. This one is just whack. It's quick, and I don't know exactly what that is. I'm sure it has something to do with recoil spring or the overall design of it. But it's a very, very fast cycling firearm, and to me has a higher perceived recoil than just about any other striker gun that I have in the safe right now. It does have an absurd amount of Picatinny slots for whatever reason, and probably one of the best, maybe right there. I hate to say this, but it's probably fighting with Canik for the best striker fire trigger. It's out of the box. It's just pretty phenomenal. It's got a super crisp break, a really short reset. I really enjoy that about the PDP. Walther also sells a match trigger that just takes this up to the next level. I didn't bother putting this in here because, again, this is a tool and it's not something I'm shooting routinely. But great firearm. I've had zero reliability issues with it. It's probably only got 200 300 rounds through it though, if I'm honest. I take this to the range. I let anybody who shows up who wants to shoot guns that they haven't shot before shoot it. So a lot of different shooters have kind of fondled this thing and played with it. Everyone comes away saying the same thing. It's comfortable to hold. It's lively to shoot. Feels fairly light, but it also seems large. So interesting gun. Not my go-to. We'll get to that in another day. But I thought you guys might like to hear just a few words about the PDP. It's one of those things where if you want to be slightly different, it's probably a good option. The aftermarket is starting to catch up with different back straps and things like that. So yeah, decent choice for the person who wants to be a little bit different than everybody else is what I would say. So that is today's overview on the PDP. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this thing. I'm so conflicted between how ergonomic it is, how the trigger feels, but then how it actually feels to shoot. So I'm gonna say this one is not for me, but I can understand how if you're a if you have a small mustache and a cafe racer, almost like a CZ kind of guy, this is probably going to be more up your alley. If you just can't stomach shooting a Glock or an M&P and you want to be a little bit different, that's a good option. And you know, it's not made in Turkey, so that's cool too. But anyways, that's my quick overview on the PDP. We'll get into some other firearms here in the coming weeks. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Take care.